Hey, how's it going everybody? Today I'm going to be talking about Gnome Alone, which is an animated Netflix original movie that came out in 2017. Now with this being a Netflix original movie, the range in how good or bad it could be is just all over the place, because Netflix used to be, in my mind, pretty good with consistency with their original projects, but maybe that was never really the case, because as I went further into the catalog of Netflix original projects, I've seen some pretty bad things and some pretty good things, and I haven't even seen some of the things that people really praise from Netflix. But I have seen this movie before, somewhere in the 2019 to 2021 time range. I watched it sometime in there, and so I knew what I was getting into with this one. And personally, I think this movie's pretty good. I like it. And Gnome Alone is one of those movies that you may never have even heard of. It may have never popped up on your home screen or in any of your little tabs on Netflix, but it's out there. It's one that if I wasn't specifically watching like feel-good movies or, animated movies, I might never have heard of this. But I think this movie actually does a few things pretty well, so I think maybe it deserves a little bit of recognition, or at least for people to know that it's out there. Something that I think at least should put this movie on the map a little bit is just the cast. The cast is surprisingly stacked. There are a lot of names that I recognize, names that you wouldn't really expect to see in this movie, but I was looking at the cast list, and this is something I did back in the day whenever I watched it the first time, but I had forgotten all that. So I looked it up again the other night whenever I watched it, and I was like, wow, I recognize a lot of these people. Personally, I think the music in this movie is pretty good, and that's kind of to be expected whenever you've got Patrick Stump from Fall Out Boy doing your score, and then also voicing some of the gnomes in the movie. And you've got Becky G playing your lead character, Chloe, and she sings some of the songs in this movie. I think that's something very interesting that this movie does. I don't know if interesting is the right word, but it's something that this movie does that not every movie does, and I think it works. I think in some instances like this one, it's a good idea to mix your voice cast with the people making your score. If you can find people who are capable of doing and contributing to both, I think that can really work in your favor. You've got Becky G, you've got Patrick Stump, who are voicing characters in this movie, and you've also got them doing some of your music. Although none of the songs are sung by the characters themselves, I think it's a lot of fun when your singers can voice act or when your voice actors can sing. I think there's a lot that you can do there, and I think having certain people do both is a good way to market your movie a little bit more. For an animated movie that's not aiming to be #1 at the box office, it's not being produced by Disney or Pixar or anything like that, I think it's a good way to push your movie a little bit more, promote your movie, promote it to that specific fan base, the fan bases that listen to that music normally. I think it's a good way to kind of push that forward and get some publicity that you might not have gotten otherwise. In this particular case, I don't really know how successful that was, because I don't think I've heard any of the original songs from this movie outside of this movie. But I think, as a general rule of thumb, for something like a Netflix original animated movie, I think that's a good tactic to use. Generally speaking, I think this is just kind of a fun movie, something mostly lighthearted, but there is just a hint of that coming-of-age sort of storytelling that you get in there a little bit, and I can appreciate that. A little bit of emotion in there that I think goes a long way for a movie that doesn't really need to be an emotional movie. It's, for the most part, a fun movie, but I think there's just that added element in there a little bit that I can appreciate and that I like to see. I looked at multiple different sites. This movie does not have a particularly high review score anywhere, and I can't say that I'm terribly surprised to learn that, but personally, like I said, I liked it. I think it's a good movie. It's not going down in the history books or anything, but, for just a random night when you're looking for something to watch, you want to watch an animated movie, it's not bad. But yeah, that's really all I've got to say for now about Gnome Alone. I was just looking for something to throw on the other night. I'm going out of town this weekend, so I was looking for something I can make a video on that wouldn't take a particularly long time. But yeah, if you want to help me out here on YouTube, liking this video, commenting on this video, subscribing to the channel, checking out some of my other videos, all those things help me grow the YouTube channel, which I'm still trying to do. There's a notification bell somewhere, not there, I don't know why I did that. Social medias are linked in the description, or at least they should be if, what YouTube is telling me is correct. But yeah, if you've seen this movie, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it. If you haven't, just to let you know, this movie exists. But yeah, until next time, bye. Okay, check this out. She takes a plate out the fridge, she puts it maybe an arm's length away. Well, guess what? Now it's gonna be way across the table, and also, who has 2 refrigerated corn dogs?